Hey people, Intro here, 3v3, Katrin Purification Plant Blue Team. Lucifer is a force commander, very strong offense, fighting in melee combat, can also tank, disrupt and support the Blood Angels elite scheme, I believe, alongside Takeshi Kovacs as an Apothecary, support hero fighting in melee combat by default, begins with a heal and a passive health regeneration aura, some Raven Guard action. And rounding off the team here, VagrantTable is a Warlock, a melee spellcaster that leaps into combat with some powerful disruption and support. Red team is a bunch of Orks. ChunkyCoates as a Kommando knob, an infiltrating hero that shoots you, stabs you and blows you up. Orky style, begins with a twin link shooter. Alongside a couple of Mekboys, this is Akolit and Bulbus. These are teleporting heroes with a bunch of versatility, got some Orky gadgets and a mean left hook apparently, being tied up here by the scouts and maybe the Force Commander if he can get there. Nope, Mekboy leaves. Red team have pushed all the way through the mid and decapped this natural victory point thanks to the mobility of this Mekboy, Akolit. Has single shooters up. More sluggers for Bulbus and ChunkyCoates with the classic double shooters. Here comes the Warlock though, leaping into combat, disrupting this Mekboy and forcing a retreat. So blue team may be able to push right back through the mid there. Meanwhile though, to other Orks, this is ChunkyCoates down the east side onto the power. West side now, contested victory point is here. Sluggers with burners. Shotgun scouts flee after a shotgun blast. Force Commander getting stuck in. They both have burners. No, only one squad has burners. You see that little flame decorator on top of their icon there. Burners gives them a couple of power weapons and a health increase. I don't know why it gives them a health increase. Maybe they're just used to being burned and they've been conditioned to have more health. Force Commander still getting stuck into some shooters. An assist from Takeshi there. And a heal thrown into the scouts. Force Commander will cap. Maybe Takeshi should have grabbed this wreck point while they were here. But seems like he wants to rotate mid. There's some sluggers coming in, but way too much for them to deal with. Including shotgun scouts there. Howling Banshees on the prowl. Power melee ladies with good mobility. Very dangerous on retreat. Taking a bunch of Daka, and there is the Immolate from the Immolator. Just set a bit of the ground on fire, which double shooters don't like standing inside of. Surprised that ChunkyCoates had the sluggers in there, and they wipe. Should not have sent them into that fight. And if they did, kept them in there too long, eh? Back towards the mid, a blue node is being Daka'd. Got some big shooters up. We have a Painboy for Akolit. Straight into this sub-commander after that single shooter boy squad. Meanwhile, west side, a bunch of Orks pop in their war. Force Commander trying to smack around the sluggers. But timed it well there. Going in after the special attack Bulbus. Almost took down the Force Commander. May have been able to do so without the shotgun blast coming in. Now the Orks can retake the west side. Maybe even get onto the power with these burners here. These sluggers are quite low though. Mekboy teleporting forward. Oh, wants to decap this. Wants to forward cap this, I think. Sluggers on capping duty. They're not going to try and go for the power yet. Bulbus has some Storm Boys. Lots of melee for Lucifer to deal with. Can you say Thunderhammer? Assault squad is up. Death Company colors. Takeshi also has some. Classic synergy with an Apothecary with the heals. And they're going to fight some sluggers, apparently. I don't think that's a good fight for the sluggers. Just in on base squads like that. They need their burners to really threaten Assault Marines. Oh, they had Painboy support, though, so that might even things up with the heal. The Painboy has a targeted heal over time, which is quite powerful. There's an initial little burst of healing, and you get quite a strong health regen effect. Only affects Orks, though. Nobody else will drink his Git Sauce, apparently. Meanwhile, maybe he just chucks it at them. Maybe they don't actually drink it. Not sure what the deal is with that. We have the big shooter for the Mekboy of Bulbus and battery pack to help support all of this melee they've got running. Force Commander's going to fall over. Those guys are bashing power. The other sluggers now have burners. Bad fight for the assault squad. Storm Boys have all power melee weapons. So they're a big threat to Marines in general. And the jump, of course, makes your backlines very vulnerable to them. Scouts coming in with a flank and shotguns. Are these guys on range stance? Maybe they were, and now they've run. These guys, I mean the sluggers. Mekboy teleports out. Storm Boys retreat. Nice little raid there from Bulbus. Apothecary, where are you? Can come over and revive that force commander soon. Meanwhile, up the east side, you have a melee commando. Assassin's Knife. Trying to assassinate the Warlock, who just leaves. Bash the power, though. And, oh, has double Banshees. Didn't even realize. Wasn't even looking. That's very fun. Are we going to see some channeling runes or Falchu's Wing then, maybe to support them? Orks dropping in would be good as well, I think, in Tier 2. Scouts with Shotgun and Sergeant now for Lucifer. And everyone's thinking about their Tier 2s. How close are we to them? Tier 2s. Everyone's kind of at the same spot. Around 80 to 90 power. Someone had over, a VagrantTable's ahead there. At the 125 that they need. Just need some more requisition now. Double Banshees, can they get things done? There's lots of Daka to suppress. Stun Bomb goes in. I wonder if we'll see the special shooter shotgun in Tier 2 because of these double Banshees. Because high explosive shells would wreck them pretty hard. But they've already invested in this knife. And it's a pretty damn good weapon because tripper shot can mess up the Banshee's advance as well. And it's decent DPS, isn't it? 70? Yeah, 70 DPS with the assassinate ability, which does a big chunk of damage. 358 to 461. Orky melee through the mid. Assault squad. Not sure if they're going to make it. Nope. Storm Boys get it done with a sync kill. Scouts on retreat path. Do you have purification rights? Nope. Trying to get to that Tier 2 quickly. Purification rights might have saved those Assault Marines, depending on how that fight went. Oh no. Are they going to lose Tactical Marines as well? Can these Storm Boys jump again? Well, they didn't do it. Mekboy's trying to teleport. And base turrets come in and save the poor Tactical Marines there with one model. Meanwhile, Orks on the power. Very aggressive start, as you'd expect. Can the blue team rebound in Tier 2? As Space Marines often do. Eldar, of course, also have a very strong Tier 2 with a bunch of ranged options. Warp Spiders might do some good work here. I wonder if Takeshi wants a Dreadnought to combat this big melee blob. Crack on bolts from attacks, which doesn't help. This is a Stern Guard veteran calling, I guess. From Takeshi. These guys now come in only from the global bar via drop pod. They're no longer an upgrade for the Tactical Marines. Using their Hellfire rounds to deal damage over time there against those Orks. They can change their ammo to combat all targets. I hear Banshee shouting. Both in on the Kommando. Weird Boy on the way for Akolit. Would be good for ChunkyCoates as well to get a Weird Boy. Warp Vomit could mess up the double Banshees as they come in. Aspect of Strength and Aspect of Strength. Both have their Exarchs with that big old heavy melee spear too. These guys looking for power, I guess. May not get all the way through to natural though. West side turning blue. You got any Wargamers? The Force Commander Thunderhammer was indeed queued up immediately for Tier 2. It's a strong melee counter. Wonder if they'll go into a Dreadnought over there, Lucifer. He might want one, even with the Thunderhammer. You have Anointed Power Axe for the Apothecary, which looks like a power sword with this army scheme. For whatever reason. Armor of Purity is also up for the lower cooldown on heal. Look at the Orks building up power completely in the mid. Who built all that? That's Bulbus. Want their Tier 3, I suppose. I see Storm Boys jumping on the minimap. Force Commander doing the Thunder Hammering. Has the Sacred Standard up. And Artificer Armor fully kitted immediately here. So what I need to do is try and avoid the Force Commander when he pops that battle cry. Which they did do with the Sluggers. Storm Boys couldn't really get away super effectively. Yeah, it might be worth those guys trying to immediately jump out when they see that popped. They could jump in and try and bait it and then try and jump out Could be tough if they're being knocked all over the place, though. Lots of damage on those Orks. Not sure what happened there. Immolate, maybe a well-timed Immolate. There's a Destructor. Just wiped. Oh, just wiped the Kommando. ChunkyCoates had a bad fight there, down to Sluggers and Shooter Boys. But Akolit is not swayed away. They're just moving right into attack against 2 players. Not discouraged at all. Storm Boys kicking it off with their Knob Leader, meaning that those guys were stunned, and then the Warp Vomit went in for the Weird Boy to stun them again. And he has Warpath up. Did the Banshees wipe? No, they both made it out. I saw something wipe in there. I'm not sure what it was. Maybe I thought I saw an indicator disappear, but maybe it just switched to another model. Weird Boy explodes, which hits the Kommando knob, which was awesome. Oh, they do have a special shooter. Kaboom. And there's the Mega Boom kit to make Kaboom more kaboomy. Banshees war shouting again. They found some sluggers on the east side. And they're messing them up. The slugger knob can get away, maybe. Maybe, though. Banshee's very good at chasing, although they did use Fleet, which lowers their damage there. There's Hide the Boys. I think they would have been okay without it. But ChunkyCoates just used Hide the Boys Global on those fellas to try and help them escape. Here come more sluggers. Banshee's getting suppressed. And there's the distortion field from the Warlock's global bar. What is this? It's some decapping Orks. The Pain Boy and the Mekboy promptly leave. But they got a decap. Decap, that's pretty good. What are you fellas? You're just tax. I thought you were Stone Guard for a second. Lucifer has a Librarian with a Force Staff and Psychic Hood on the way. And this Force Commander's doing some work, eh? Bulbus down to just the double sluggers and the Storm Boys. Goes tier 3. Maybe just get a tank up or something, a looted tank. Here comes a big boom. A big kaboom, I should say. Pretty effective in just ridiculous knockback strength on that, as usual. There's the Orky shotgun doing shotgun things, has that passive chance of knockback. I think it's 15%. But I wonder if that... Well, it's 30%. I wonder if that rolls for each model it hits, or if it's just one roll for all of them. 144 to 440. Stone Guard in a bad spot. And that's just attacks. It was Takeshi who had the Stone Guard. Keep getting confused. There they are. They're fine. Some inspirations on kill from the Librarian, stacking with the battle cries, of course. Assault Squad in retreat path, trying to finish off the sluggers. Now it's more sluggers and Storm Boys piling in. These sluggers don't have burners, though. And that's what the Thunderhammer does for you. Knocked back 2 full squads there. And they flee. Oh, Bulbus has just leaned into melee as a Knob Squad now. Huge hammers on the way. They will be able to stand up to the Force Commander's damage. They'll still be knocked over, of course. Unless they get super tough beam, I guess, Bulbus over there. But they will be able to withstand the damage a lot better. Maybe send those guys in alone. Send the Knob Squad in alone. Try and bait the battle cry out. And then you can send your sluggers and your Storm Boys to other targets, perhaps. If you blob up, you kind of play into the Force Commander's hands there. They also need to try and get around the Force barrier, of course. Oh, Lucifer lost their Assault Marines in that fight. Right there, look. Just me missing things as usual. There's the Force barrier, which makes it very difficult to approach, as you can see. It's not easy to avoid as well, as you have to be separated like right from the start. Akolit did indeed get a looted tank. I thought the Bulbus would get one, but here's one from Akolit. Took a bunch of damage already. Sluggers on range stance there, I think. Can they finish off those tacks? Or Stone Guard even? May have been able to finish them if they weren't on range stance for the start of that fight. Looted tank is so low. What damaged it? Did it take a... Well, oh, maybe it was the Vengeance rounds, and maybe it took a plasma cannon shot as well. They may not survive to do another shot, though. Nope. I don't know how that fella died. Another nobs coughed on him and he fell over. Red team are retaking the west side. It's turning all orky. And there is a super tough beam from Bulbus, giving knockback and suppression immunity, which are the two weaknesses of a nob squad. Although their frenzy will already break suppression, they don't have a way themselves to break knockback, or counter it rather. Those guys bashing power, building up momentum on those hammers, and gives them some XP, of course. Nob squad is one of those units that becomes exponentially more insane as they gain levels, since they start with such a high health pool already. Start piling percentage bonuses on that as they level. It gets kind of nuts, same with their damage and stuff. Level 5 Mekboy just threw battery pack onto the sluggers, I think. But they've been knocked over. Had Swampum active there, I believe. Stormboys just back away from this. Nice little push from Bulbus, I think. Bash some power, crack some heads, and cap the VP. May not be able to hold it for very long. There's Hellfire rounds on the Mekboy. Dealing that acidic damage over time also affects light infantry. Up the east side, double Banshees are still alive. Not sure where the other one is. They're moving up. There's the distortion field from the Warlock's global bar. Not going to help you, though, against the Nob squad. Now ChunkyCoates has one, with Jammers on the way. Mina and Green are already in, and the Nob leader already in. That was Warp Throw. Just chucking them aside there. The Warlock can be actually really good at dealing with the Nob squad, because they have the Warp Throw. They also have the Witchblade of Kurnus, potentially. There's a lot of disruption built in there. And of course their passive leap into combat. If you can time and get all that stuff working, you can keep them knocked over for a while. Depends if the Warlock can get into melee with them, though, for the Ethereal Slash. Grenade attempted. Killed that fella. Looted tank shows up, shoots dead the Apothecary, who's level 3. Double looted tanks now for Akolit. Where's the other one? Coming through the mid now. Mekboy does have the awesome Pulse of Speed global, which improves vehicles' movement speed and lowers their cooldown of their ranged weapons, which is very good for a tank. Fire Prism getting shots though, eh? Fire Prism in play from VagrantTable. Apothecary sprinting out and misses the attack there. Looks like they have Purification Rites in. Shooter Boys dying. I wonder if they were allowed to die. I'm not even sure whose they were. Eldar with a big old flank. These looted tanks could be in trouble, you know. But there's Stern Guard veterans there. There's a missile launcher there. And those Banshees with their spears just wiped out some sluggers, I think. One looted tank down. Big boom shot into a rocks. Stop them coming forward. Looted tank needs to leave up the east side, surely. Just hanging out here. Down it goes. Terminator's coming in, but it was a Fire Prism that got the last shot. I think maybe they could have got it out of there. Akolit just lost their entire army to that. Push through the mid. That flank. Blue team down to 69 VPs. We'll see how Akolit recovers. I feel like Orks are a great faction to recover in tier 3 with. You've got some really good options. Because commandos and flash kits really aren't that expensive to get going. A Nob squad is like 100 power just to get onto the field, and then you want to upgrade them, they get very expensive. But they'll have no upkeep. Commandos coming in. Bulbus has a commando squad as well. Nob squad doing decent work. Level 2. Has to flee. There's a rocks on the VP. Takeshi brought their Terminators in with the Cyclone missile launcher. VagrantTable are double Fire Prisms now. Apothecary still down on that side. 41 to 313. Sluggers coming in. They can threaten Marines. Or sorry, they can threaten Terminators with those burners in. Looks like they didn't fully reinforce though. More looted tanks on the way for Akolit and for ChunkyCoates. Here's the Commandos. They do have their Nob leader. They're a fast capping unit with very versatile stuff going on. Can disrupt and deal area of effect damage and some decent Dakar as well. They're going for a decap, I think. Maybe. And they are a detector, so they could see that webway. Double Banshee's done well, eh? Level 3 and level 4. And I don't think... Yeah, they didn't even get... They do have Cloak of Shadows, I think. I can't select the Warlock anymore. I think they had Cloak of Shadows, but there's no Faltru's Wing or Channeling Runes to keep them alive. They were just well used with well-judged engagements. Yeah, there's Cloak of Shadows. Here comes the Witchblade of Kurnus. West side is blue. Storm Boys are not going to make it out. Tried to jump, but shot out the air. Oh, look at that. He gets a... He loses his hammer when he dies, apparently. 41 to 312. More looted tanks. Fire Prisms outranging them. Cyclone Missile Launcher a big threat. Nob Squad moving in to try and draw some fire. Mekboy desperately trying to repair his looted tank. Where's the Cult of Speed? I guess they've been using their red on other things. Big plasma cannon shot almost wiped those scouts in there. Nob Squad are trying to chase off the Fire Prisms. Looted tank pushing. Takes one out. Fire Prisms did not like to be close to basically anything that can hurt a vehicle. There's Cult of Speed, but I think this one's done for. Oh, does take out the last Fire Prism, though. That was ChunkyCoates pushing through. 41 to 287. Another Nob Squad shows up, and Commandos. And there's Love the Dakar. Banshee's yelling. Seeing off the sluggers there. Nob Squad could delete this plasma cannon pretty quickly. Yeah, they need to run. Still trying to get on them. There's only 3 of them there, but they're still super dangerous with their hammers and stuff. Commander Nob levels up on the floor there. Level 4. Akolit could maybe revive. Although he's busy repairing at the moment. Nob Squad versus Howling Banshees. Banshees getting the special attacks, eh? There's only 3 Nobs there, as I said. But here comes some Orky reinforcements. Sluggers using on-range stance again, I think there, maybe. But now they're meleeing. And there's Angels of Death thrown up from Takeshi. Global ability of the Apothecary. Giving you a 50% damage reduction on your infantry. Very effective, as you can see there. Now it's worn off, though. Those guys are okay. How did they sprint? Oh, I think it's the Warlock Global Active speeding up everything on the map. Pretty handy, eh? You don't get the little sprint lines, though. That Slugger okay? That Slugger is okay. I think the Mekboy threw battery pack on them. Level 6 mech hit. Wonder if it's worth this guy getting his death gun to try and stem the tide of these Banshees. Ouch. Plasma cannon friendly fire. 3 here just caps as Bulbus. There's also this going on though. The Banshees are split. And they're going to mess up these unupgraded brand new sluggers pretty badly. Decapping going on here though. Fast capping Commandos on it. Oh, they found a Fire Prism and there's more Dakar, the global. Increasing fire rate, I believe. Can they get it done though? They're being sneaky and they're leveling up to 2. And not going to go for it, are they? I think they should have, but they didn't. Opening up on the Warlock though. Can't stay here for too long, Mr. Warlock. Tries to get Ethereal Slash. Get some hits. Blue team down to 17 VPs, 16. Akolit needs to get numbers on the field, so does ChunkyCoates. 1-to-1 cap there. Commandos, I think, are okay. 87 hit points. Yep. And they ran into some mines there, the Apothecary. Where is... Who chucked the mines? Akolit? Oh, hey, got some Lightning Claw Terminators on the field for Lucifer. Assault Terminators are unique to the Force Commander, and they're a big threat to the Nob Squad now. Especially if the Force Commander can be there at the same time and buff them with Sacred Standard and knock over the Nob squad. 2 VPs for the blue team now. Looted tank on the way for Akolit. The red team are severely depleted. Can they find these last 2 VPs somewhere? Commandos wiped there. Lightning Claw Terminators having an instantaneous impact on the west side. And here is a Predator tank. Extra armor is in. VagrantTable. Oh, they lost their Banshees. Maybe it was in this big fight over here. Have dropped in an Ork though. Who's trying to cap over there? The Kommando Nob trying to get a decap. Couldn't quite get it. Yeah, blue team need to be super vigilant on this central VP now. Here's an infiltrated Nob squad. You can open up on a tank maybe and take it out. Lightning Claw Terminators are right there to counter-initiate though. They're going for it. I think they wanted to get around on rear armor, but there was too much stuff in the way. When an infiltrated unit gets close enough, they will be spotted by anything. And they're being messed up by the Terminators. Frenzy was popped, which helped them out for a bit. There's more power melee coming in from the Banshees. Nob squad are heavy infantry. There's the teleport. They don't have a weird boy to punish that kind of thing with the stun. 2-1 for blue. Can they hold on? Maybe. Banshees war shouting. Oh, in amongst some commandos, eh? Oh, they're melee commandos. These guys are now only a call-in for the Kommando Nob. The melee commandos. Did they make it out? They make it out, and there's a big high explosive shells to greet those Banshees. They also have some flash kits with blasters. Very good versus heavy and super heavy infantry, but they're pretty good against all infantry. VagrantTable, are you throwing these guys away? Oh, they are running. And then they die. Exploded. Meanwhile, in the mid and the west side, those Lightning Claw Terminators continue to be a massive pain in the ass. They've barely lost any health. With Sacred Standard buffed as well. Bad place to be for those Orks. Looted tank getting shot at. Gonna go down, I think. Yep. 2-179. Can Akolit drop a nuke? Not quite, but very soon they can, and that may be the turning point. Big kaboom. Akolit down to a single unit at the moment. I'm not sure if there's like one thing he can get to recover effectively here. Need to try and mob up, group up, and win some fights, I suppose. Easier said than done, though, when you're dealing with this. Level 10 Providence Warlock with Witchblade of Kurnus and Warp Throw. Good luck. Might need to just try and be sneaky. Stage a big fight somewhere and then sneak around, but I imagine, yeah, there's some Stern Guard here. Can tank some Stern Guard shots, though, I think. We lose, says ChunkyCoates. They can't believe it. It's a double cap now. They just lost too much in the late game. The Nob squad stayed alive. Maybe it was all those tanks they purchased. I can see you getting the initial tanks, but they kept losing them, kept buying them. When they could have got maybe safer options with the awesome tier 3 Orky infantry, which they have now started leaning into. Or maybe just be way more careful with your tanks, eh? Try and keep them behind your infantry is generally a good idea, but it's hard to not chase something when you spot it, you know? Late game Destructor thrown in there. Orks just backing away. Aside from the Nob squad, and now the Nob squad run away. Because the Lightning Claw Terminators are terrifying, supported by this Force Commander here. Level 7. Rezzing, says ChunkyCoates. Double cap against the Orks. They are getting their natural back, and what is this? That is sneaky commandos. I can't believe they've only left Stern Guard here. They're level 4 Stern Guard. The Fire Prism's leaving. Going for a decap. Oh, they do have tax here. Didn't even see those fellas. Here comes the Kommando Nob. Oh, and there's a plasma cannon. There's a bunch of stuff I didn't realize. Yeah, plasma cannon does it. Autark ready to jump in with the webway as well. Nob squad hitting level 3. Going after the librarian. Librarian provides safety for the Terminators because he can teleport them out. Level 5 Apothecary down. A bunch of Daka. 1-to-1 cap. They did get the decap. Only need a couple of seconds of a 2-to-1. Which is why they're still trying here. ChunkyCoates with another Nob squad on the way. Akolits can drop a nuke, which could be very telling. If they can somehow get both of those decapped and then drop a nuke to stop a cap coming in, could be enough, but at the moment, Blue Team are threatening a triple cap, actually. Kommando's getting knocked over. Second Nob squad for ChunkyCoates hits the field. Third in total. Doesn't really have the resources to upgrade them immediately, as I'm sure they would like to. Sneaky Commandos, but there's only 3 of them. I don't think they can get this done. But they are providing some intel. They're trying to get a decap over there. Meanwhile, Orks push the west side. Decent little army too. Nob squad and triple Commandos, and there's a super tough beam. More assault Terminators are in. And they're getting claws as well. Oh well. Bad day to be Orc infantry, eh? Single cap for blue. At the end. And they take it with 2 VPs remaining. Managed to get the decap here. And they held on. Decent little push at the end from Bulbus. ChunkyCoates was trying to get through the mid. Akolit did not drop a nuke. And stopped getting units at some point as well. Had a level 8 Force Commander. Level 6 Apothecary. Level 10 Warlock. Doing huge amounts of work through the mid. Level 7 Kommando. Went from the knife to the shotgun. Level 10 mech for Akolit. And a level 7 mech. All the heroes did pretty well then, eh? Well, there you have it, guys. Hell of a close game. Yeah, they got their lightning claws at the end. Awesome stuff. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time.